Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 316, Nasdaq's up 43, S&Ps are up 29. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Teddy Kekstadt, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour. You can reach Teddy every trading day, folks, at forex-trading-unlock.com. That's forex-trading-unlock.com. Teddy Kekstadt, what's going on, brother?
Well, last week it was a sleepy holiday market we were coming off of, and now we have a little bit of a serious movement going on in the currency market.
There's no doubt, right? So talk
Absolutely.
to us. Yeah, where are we going to start?
How about we start with your favorite, the Japanese yen, which exploded yesterday.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
The U.S. dollar yen rallied, had its biggest move in probably, I would say, 3 weeks.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
And so
it weakened pretty good. That's interesting.
That's very interesting because the dollar's been under pressure since Memorial Day, and when we talked last week, we were kind of in a sleepy little grind, hitting support, and the question was, were we going to get a bounce, or is dollar weakness going to creep in with the variables we were talking about? And we didn't even think about the protests that obviously emerged afterwards, So yesterday there was a sell signal in the silver market. Now you watch the gold market, and you know that it's been kind of sideways for the past week or so.
Yes.
It did go lower yesterday, but if you just look at that chart, you're like, well, it's just in a consolidation range. So what? It's lower today, right? But if you look at the silver chart, that's been rallying for the past few weeks, and it came off of its high. Now, if you think about this, if there's going to be a rotation in metals, let's just say there's a short-term top in silver. It keeps gold also in a consolidation pattern.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, well, what does that do to the dollar? So I went to look at the interest rates because we know they've basically been flatlined for the past month and a half, especially the 30-year and the 10-year. So yesterday, the 10-year was lower slightly, but kind of looking in its consolidation range, hitting support. The 30-year bond, however, made a newer move low, breaking out to the downside, and then today was followed through. Now, as we're speaking right now, the bond contract for the September contract is down almost $2. That's a big deal. Why are interest rates rallying all of a sudden? There was no news today to make the interest rate market move. There was no news yesterday to make silver turn around in a big way, So, and the dollar, every single currency has been rallying against the dollar, especially very extreme since Sunday night. Like even you look at the South African rand, you look at even the Chinese yuan, all the currencies have been spiking against the dollar, and they did into today. So now I think that we may still see a little bit of follow through with like the euro and maybe the pound and stuff like that. But it's kind of interesting that where all these markets have been smashing the dollar, we have these interesting movements that happen in the past 24 hours in these other markets. And then the yen is the one place the dollar got a rally. How did that happen? How did that happen?
Listen, man, this is intriguing. It was so intriguing about this, folks, okay? So we have gold, they're smacking gold this morning. It's down $38. But this type of move that Teddy's talking about, gold could have been down $100 yesterday with the yen getting that weak. It's like, this is intriguing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, man, this is delayed action here. So that is, wow.
See, I think what it is now we're seeing where there's a rotation of big money. It has to be. The only way that you're getting these signals in multiple markets means that where we have big capitalized funds, they're making a rotation right now. Now, this means for what reason, I don't know. But I think that a lot of it does have to do with what's going on in America right now in all our major cities. Coronavirus is one thing. The U.S. government's tacked down $8 to $10 trillion in the past 3 months for the national debt.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. And now with this destruction, Chicago was supposed to open today on a for the patios. You're familiar with the downtown area.
Oh, big time.
The downtown area has been closed down for 2 days. People were supposed to go back to work at the Board of Trade Monday. They couldn't because it was looted and all the windows were smashed out over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, all this, shutdown has cost a lot of money, and now you have major cities where the damage is, it's just, no one even knows how much this is going to cost, let alone try and reopen now. Who's got the money? There's so many businesses that are, they were struggling. So I think the dollar is going to be definitely under pressure for a while, and this interest rate move is something we need to watch because there's, over the weekend, irony of it all, on the golf course, everyone has their conspiracy theories like who's paying for these, it's basically domestic terrorism. And I'm like, well, everyone talks about Soros. I'm like, well, watch the currencies. And now the dollar's been getting just hammered over the past few days, especially in the week. Like, how is it the South African rand is railing against the dollar, like tremendously? Where does that come from?
There's definitely a disconnect here. Yeah. I mean, I can see that because what Teddy's talking about, folks. The yen itself, that's not how it moves. Well, hey, guess what? The market's the market. That's how it's moving now.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
That's how it's moving now, man. There's no doubt.
And I'm not getting into conspiracy theory. Like, I'm not saying that this is what's going on, but the markets are reflective of this right now. And the way they're moving right now, it tells me that we're going to start swinging in a big way, because if the bonds that the long-term interest rates drive interest rates in the long term. So if that bond market keeps pressing lows, I mean, if it's down another $2 tomorrow and there's no news, well, the Fed can keep the rate at 0 for all they want, but the market's telling you right now that the credit markets are in danger because of what's going on right now all across the United States.
Yeah,
really, because who's going to finance it? Who's going to finance the rebuilding at 0%?
Right,
There's nobody that's going to invest in that.
I'm going to put this chart up, folks, of the 30-year what Teddy's just talking about here. So this contract, it just broke the consolidation that we've been in going all the way back to, that's the 24th of March. So that's saying that the 30 actually can get down to 165, and we're at 175.10 right now. That's
right.
Pretty
We're
intense,
talking about a big move.
Yeah, this is a large move, man. There's no doubt. Oh, that's interesting, man. So if we look at right now, the 10 is at 0.76 of 1, and that's we were at 6.5 yesterday, so it's gonna be wild, man.
The yield curve is going to be in play if this keeps up.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I can see that. And hey, listen, man, what hasn't been out there at all. The more that the sabers get rattling between us and China, guess what, folks? Okay, they start moving bonds out. They just might say, hey, man, let's move some of them out. We'll rattle things up a little. I mean, that's all it would take. It wouldn't take a lot. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have the perfect storm that's been brewing. We're coming off a shutdown, high unemployment. I mean, America's weak, so our enemies can easily attack us now financially. It's a very easy thing to do.
Well, that's right. When you have debt, your enemies always can attack you easy. Anyone can. That's right. That's something to remember, folks, okay?
Or it's just big money, smart trading. Which side do you want to be on right now?
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Forget conspiracies or governments and what have you. Markets don't care about color or governments. They care about money. That's all they care about.
Yeah. Tell that to the S&P and the NASDAQ. It's going to highs, too. I know.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Isn't it?
Figure.
I mean, it's just amazing. We're right next to the high on the NASDAQ, folks. There's no doubt about it. Well, listen, man, it's always a pleasure. We pray for your city. We hope that things get better there, because it's a great city, and the bottom line is
Thank you.
Yeah,
you guys be safe too. It's everywhere now. So
it is, but it's not. We're pretty lucky down here. I mean,
you are.
Yeah, it's. But you know what? It's the city of St. Petersburg has done a lot of work over the course of years, basically keeping things pretty cool. You know what I mean? So,
I might have to move down to Florida.
Come on down, man.
Do it.
Come on down.
We made it happen.
Hey, you can be right next to us every day, man.
How about it?
Thanks, Teddy.
Take care,
Teddy.
guys.
Have a great one, man. Have a safe one. Stay right there.